What is up, everyone? Today we will be looking at the NBA trade deadline, the trades that happened, and what it will mean for each team. So let's get into the first trade we saw was Javale McGee go to the Denver Nuggets. I think he will have an impact on their team. We saw he spent a few years in Denver, and we saw the impact he had on the Los Angeles Lakers when they won their championship, and with the Golden State Warriors when they won back-to-back championships. So he'll be a good backup to Nikola Vukovic, and I think this makes the Nuggets a way better team. The next big trade we saw happen was the Orlando Magic sent Nikola Vukovic to the Chicago Bulls for Otto Porter Jr. and Wendell Carter Jr. This move improves the Chicago Bulls a lot. Nikola Vukovic is an underrated player. We see his ability to shoot the ball from the three-point land, and to me this was surprising that the Magic traded him because he was really good there, and we see the Magic are basically just going into rebuilding form here, but I think this makes the Chicago Bulls a way better team, and I think this possibly makes them a playoff team. So like I said, the Magic have basically gone into rebuilding form. We also saw them trade Evan Fournier to the Boston Celtics for only 2 first-round picks. So I think this will impact the Celtics. We see Kemba Walker has had problems with injuries, and this will fill out the shooting guard position. We saw that's something they didn't really have. Marcus Smart was more of a point guard playing the shooting guard. Same with Jaylen Brown. He was more of a small forward, in my opinion, but Fournier will fill out that position. And if Kemba Walker gets hurt, you can play Smart or Pritchard at the point guard position. You have Brown and Tatum at small forward and power forward. And then you have Tristan Thompson at center, plus Daniel Tice also off the bench. So this helps improve the Boston Celtics a lot. And this could get them to possibly the number 3 seed or probably 4 seed in the East. So another interesting trade we saw happen was we saw the Atlanta Hawks send Rajon Rondo to the Los Angeles Clippers for Lou Williams. And this is a very interesting trade. I don't know who won this trade, in my opinion. We see Rajon Rondo and Lou Williams are 2 totally different guys. Rajon Rondo is a guy that isn't that great in the regular season, but is amazing in the postseason. And Lou Williams is a guy that's great in the regular season, but not that good in the postseason. So, but we also see that Lou Williams was basically a player that just, you gave him the ball and he scored. Rondo can run the team a lot better. He didn't get that much playing time in Atlanta behind Trae Young, but we'll see what happens. I honestly don't know who won this trade. I thought Lou Williams did have an impact on their team in the regular season, but if Rondo can go off in the postseason, this could make the Clippers a very scary team. Yeah, we also saw the Orlando Magic trade Aaron Gordon, so it's obvious they're going to rebuilding form. We saw them only get Gary Harris and RJ Hampton in return, but this puts the Nuggets very stacked at big men. Now they have Nikola Jokic, Paul Millsap, Michael Porter Jr., and now you add JaVale McGee and Aaron Gordon. This team is going to be insane underneath the basket. But losing Gary Harris, we saw the Nuggets were down 3-1 to the Jazz. Then he came back, and the Nuggets came back from down 3-1. So that kind of shows the impact he might have on their team. Besides Jamal Murray, they have at guard. I don't know who else they could play at the shooting guard. Maybe Porter Jr. could play there, but I doubt it. So I guess we'll just see what happens. Will Barton could maybe play the shooting guard, but I think this might help impact the Nuggets against better teams, but I don't think Jamal Murray can just run the point guard position, the guard position by himself. So we'll see what happens. The last trade we did see was Norman Powell get traded to the Portland Trail Blazers for Gary Trent Jr. and Rodney Hood, and I think this is a very similar trade. They both are similar players. Norman Powell did great in Toronto, and I think it will have an impact on the Blazers, but we saw how well Gary Trent was playing for the Blazers. Like, he went off in some games, so I think not having him will impact their team a little bit. And we saw some shots Rodney Hood has hit in the postseason, his first year there, and even years before that. So I guess we'll just see what happens. I honestly don't know who wins this trade either, but we'll just see what happened was the Houston Rockets trade Victor Oladipo to the Miami Heat for Avery Bradley and Kelly Olynyk. I think Oladipo, if he can get back to all-star form, he will be good on the Heat, and the Heat could get back to the finals with Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Bam Adebayo. The Heat struggled to start the season, but they've been playing a lot better and are now 4th in the Eastern Conference. So I think this Heat team with Oladipo can get back to all-star form, maybe going back to the finals. Now we will be talking about the players that didn't get traded. First, we will talk about Kyle Lowry. Everyone was saying that Kyle Lowry was probably going to get traded, and the Raptors decided not to, and I thought that was the best choice because Kyle Lowry has had a huge impact on their team, so I'd be surprised if they traded him. One thing I was surprised about is I didn't know he had been playing in the league for as long as he has. So I saw he was 35 years old and has been playing for 15 years, and that was surprising to me, but I thought the Raptors made the right choice to keep Lowry. And point guard we saw not get traded that a lot of sources said were going to get traded was Lonzo Ball. And I'm not surprised he didn't get traded. I didn't think he was that bad on the Lakers when he was there. And he's had a big role in New Orleans lately playing. And he was good in LA. It's just he had so much pressure on him just playing in a big city. And we also saw LeBron's first season on the Lakers. When LeBron went out, the Lakers were still doing fine. It was when Lonzo Ball tweaked his ankle really badly and was out for the season that's when the Lakers started struggling. So I thought he maybe had a bigger impact on the Lakers than a lot of people thought. But I think he can help get the Pelicans to the playoffs and maybe to the second round. Or something we'll be talking about is LaMarcus Aldridge. We saw the Nets sign him today, and the Nets are now really good at big men. Now they have Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge down there. And this Nets team, I think, is going to the finals with Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Kevin Durant, and LaMarcus Aldridge. Like, this is a very scary team. And to me, they're 98% winning the Eastern Conference. So yeah, last player we will be looking at is Andre Drummond, and we see he was bought out by the Cavs. The Cavs didn't want to play him anymore. I thought he should have gone to the Nets, but we saw them sign LaMarcus Aldridge and Blake Griffin, so they're probably done with him. And I see the Lakers are front runner for him. He would probably fill out the role for Anthony Davis, and while LeBron's out. So yeah, hopefully they said Anthony Davis may return soon, but the Los Angeles Lakers, whether they're the 1 or 8 seed, fully healthy, they're winning the championship, in my opinion. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please click like and subscribe. And in the comments, let me know what you guys thought about the NBA trade deadline.